Hi guys, for anybody that's been watching this, the dog you're looking at is my dog Katie. She's paralyzed and she's just been laying there the whole time. When I've been doing these before, I try to get her at nap time. So I have some more stories for you today. I just wanted to kind of mention too that some of the things that are happening in some of these stories are the clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience. Clairvoyance is being able to see things or events in the future. Clairaudience is same thing, hearing sounds, voices, and music you're hearing those things not audible to normal. And clairsentience is the perception of smell, taste, touch, emotions, and physical sensations. So I've had pretty much all of these at different times. All of these things happen to me. I guess I'm very lucky. I consider myself very lucky to be able to have this happen to me. I can't call on it to happen. It just happens. And no, there's nothing I do that I am aware of. So anyway, I have some more stories for you today. This one is a true story, and here it is. It was a very dark and deeply depressing time in my life. I had made a terrible mistake by moving in with a guy that proved to be someone totally different than he had made himself out to be. I thought I was a good judge of character, but I guess not. I was totally too trusting. So, because I was not in such a good place, I was holding daily pity parties instead of attempting to make things better for myself. My finances were in dire straits. I couldn't return to my own house because I had tenants living there, and I had no idea how I could manage to leave and afford a place to live. One day, I was lying on the couch, which my friend had given us before she passed away. I loved her dearly and missed her upbeat, happy spirit that she was able to sustain through her own losses. We had had so much fun and adventure together, and I was devastated when she died unexpectedly a couple of years earlier. So while I was lying there with a puppy on my belly, crying and sobbing and feeling so sorry for myself, it happened. Suddenly, this huge, heavy wicker, full-size couch was pushed. It jolted the puppy and I, and we both startled into action. The pup jumped down and ran to the door barking, and I sat there stunned. Earthquake? Nope. Just the couch I was on moved. It was pushed about 3 to 4 inches from the end of where my head was towards. It didn't make any sense. It was absolutely impossible. And suddenly I knew. I felt it. My friend was giving me the push I so desperately needed to change my life back into the happy person I used to be. She was telling me to get off my butt and do something. The next day I received 2 letters in the mail. One from the bank telling me that I was not allowed to rent out my home according to the note I'd signed. And the next from my tenants saying they needed to get out of the lease early. Unbelievable. In 2 weeks, I was out of my predicament and safely back home. Thank you, my spirit friend. You saved my life. True story. True story. This next one is a great uplifting story. This is called Pennies from Heaven. Yes, everyone finds coins at some time or other. When does finding some special coins mean that someone may be sending a message? Sometime in 2003, I started noticing that I was finding quite a few coins, mostly pennies. I started to pay attention to the dates on the coins and noticed that most of them were dated 1984, the year that my mother passed. Here are some, that's interesting, my mother passed in 1984 as well. Here are some of my most memorable finds. A 1984 penny on my 64th birthday in a parking lot. A 1984 penny at the airport check-in desk, and then when I got out of the rental car later at our destination, and a 1984 penny I found on my father's birthday almost 2 years after he passed. Often the coins will be the lone coin in a purse I am changing to, in a golf bag I am cleaning out, or when I'm getting into the car in a parking lot. One day, I opened an email, and it was a wonderful story entitled A Penny from My Father by Mary Hollingsworth. It told about her father's death and how she began to find pennies at just the right times. Another message? I had no idea my dad or mom were so inventive or talented. The most recent find was just a week or so ago by my 10-year-old granddaughter, who was visiting her grandfather with her mother. Her grandpa was in a hospice and was expected to pass in a few days. Maddie told me she picked up the penny in the parking lot. You guessed it, 1984. I asked her what she thought it meant, and she replied, I think it means that my other grandma and grandpa are going to be with this grandpa to help him and take care of him. He passed several days later. For me, that was the best find. To know that my granddaughter had that insight is very special. Now, my mom was a hairstylist. Would you like to hear about the bobby pins I find? 2 great stories. I think my battery's running out. I just want everybody to know to please send me their stories. I would love to have a spot for people to come and tell their stories and that they might want to tell and have been afraid to tell other people. Because sometimes people don't understand these things. All right. We'll see you next time.